Hello, everyone, and welcome to ELDT School Bus Training. My name is Josh Barron, certified instructor here at Midwest Truck Driving School. I have had my school bus and passenger endorsements for now, I think about 6, 7 years now, and I've taught a lot of people how to operate school buses, as well as all the different buttons and switches and all the different rules and regulations when it comes to driving a school bus safely. This is actually the school bus we use here at the school, typical traditional conventional bus, which we'll go over here momentarily. But I look forward to helping you achieve your school bus and passenger goals, and I'd like to congratulate you on getting into this industry. Really busy time, this industry. A lot of great opportunities across the country right now when it comes to school bus drivers. So, welcome to the industry. Welcome to Midwest Truck Driving School. And let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, introduction. To become a school bus driver, you must pass the following three knowledge tests at your DMV: the CDL General Knowledge, the Passenger Endorsement, and the School Bus Endorsement. Note, to drive a school bus equipped with air brakes, you must pass the air brake knowledge test. Now, I will tell you the majority of school buses have air brakes. Now, I guess they're coming out with more and more that have hydraulic brakes, but the majority of school buses have air brakes, and so you're going to want to pass that air brake knowledge test as well. Most school buses require a Class B CDL to operate, as well as a DOT physical. Now, DOT physicals typically renew every 2 years, but you have to have a physical to operate any CMV for that matter, let alone a school bus as well. And you have to be minimum 18 years old. It can't be 16, can't be 17, minimum 18 years old. And then if you want to go across state lines, you have to be 21 or older. Also, you have to complete an annual safety training from the Department of Education, Office of School Traffic Safety, and keep that in your possession while you're driving a school bus. So it's a little yellow card. And what that does is every single state has their own Department of Education and their own Office of School Traffic Safety. And what they cover is all the different rules, regulations that go through all the specifics when operating a school bus. And so it's an annual training. You have to go to it. Typically, it's put on by your school district. And after you go through this training, you'll get a yellow card, and it says that you're certified for a year. And then the next year, the school district put on another training. And so you have to go through that every year. And the idea behind that is that if there's any updates, if there's any new things, and, for instance, over the last several years, these crossing arms have become standard on school buses. Almost all school buses have these crossing arms now. Now, 20 years ago, those didn't exist. Nowadays, they do. And so it's about evolving. And as the industry evolves and as things change, we want to be updated with that new information. And so once again, that's that yellow card that you received there. All right, so types of school buses. So type A school bus would be this type of school bus right here. It is typically constructed with a left driver's door, designed to carry 10 or more passengers, with a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds or less. These are smaller school buses, and typically they're for kind of smaller school districts or Head Start programs or preschool programs, kindergarten programs. You've probably seen these out and about, but once again, they're for a smaller number of students and Head Start programs and different things like that. But they have all the characteristics of your traditional school bus, like the front mirrors, the crossing arm, the stop arm, the overhead ambers, and the overhead reds. So they are essentially just a smaller version of your traditional school bus. Your Type B school buses are also smaller versions of your traditional school buses, bigger than Type A, but smaller than your traditional buses, which are going to be Type C school buses. So Type B is school buses with a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds or more, designed to carry more than 10 passengers, and a section of the engine is actually placed beside the seat of the driver and behind the windshield. So it's kind of further back than your traditional school bus. Once again, these are not as popular anymore. They're bigger than Type A, but they're smaller than your traditional school buses. Speaking of traditional school buses, Type C is going to be your traditional school bus. It's going to look something like this right here, and this is going to be the majority of school buses that you see out and about are going to be Type C. This type of school bus is always considered the traditional school bus. It's designed to carry more than 10 people, but most often transporting 54 to 78 passengers. And it typically has a gross vehicle weight rating of 23,500 pounds to 29,500 pounds. So these are your big buses. These are your full-size school buses. These are what people think of when they think of school buses. Now, you go around the country, these are going to be the most popular type of school buses that you see. However, you get into some of the bigger inner cities and different things, you're going to see more of these buses, which are Type D school buses, flat nose school buses. So on these, the passenger entrance door and driver's position are forward over the front wheels. This can affect how you steer the bus, and this type of bus is often called a transit style bus and can carry from 72 to 90 passengers. So these typically you can carry a few more passengers because of their layout and their design. And I will tell you, driving these buses is going to be similar to traditional, but your wheels actually turn behind you. So turning is a little bit different. Takes a little bit more practice. I will tell you, here at the school, all the buses we have are traditional buses, but we do talk about kind of the differences in the pre-trip, the range, the road, as well as how they drive differently, how they turn differently, that sort of thing. So we will talk about those differences. School bus inspection. So when you go to Midwest here, or you go to any school for the actual range portion, which is going to be the range for the pre-trip, for the yard maneuvers that you're going to have to do for the state test, as well as the road portion and learning about the student discharge and all that good stuff, we're going to cover this pre-trip vehicle inspection in explicit detail. There's about 111 items on the school bus pre-trip that we're going to cover, and we're going to cover kind of everything, and we have an order that we do it that flows really, really well. So once again, when you come to the school for the actual range portion of the class, yeah, we're going to be covering this in explicit detail. But there are a few things on the ELDT theory portion that I want to go ahead and cover now. So the most important reason for performing a school bus inspection is for safety, as required by federal, state, and local laws. So federal, state, and local laws require you to do a pre-trip vehicle inspection, require you to do a post-trip vehicle inspection. And this is important for your safety as well as the safety of all the passengers on board. And you have to remember, you all are hauling the most precious cargo that you could ever haul. And that's, of course, my children and your children and other people's children. So it's important that we have safe vehicles to haul our children with. During the pre-trip vehicle inspection, make sure that the emergency exit devices are working, the emergency exits are undamaged, operate smoothly, and close securely from the inside. So on this bus, you can see your emergency exits right here, as well as an emergency exit in the back, emergency exit right here. And then you want to make sure they open and close properly. You want to make sure they're not stuck shut or stuck open, for that matter. We want to make sure all that stuff is working properly. Bus inspection continued. All right, so part of that pre-trip, we're going to check the battery box, and we're going to make sure it is secure, that the connections are tight, that the cell caps are present, there's minimal or no corrosion, and the battery box is not damaged and secure. So typically you have 2 or 3 batteries that power a school bus, and want to make sure everything's secure, everything's nice and tight, there's no corrosion, there's no holes in the door, nothing like that. And then we're going to check the entry door that is not damaged and operates smoothly and closes securely from the inside. So once again, we have your typical door, and these doors they're all going to look about the same, but some of them are pneumatic, where they're air driven forward and back, open and close. Some of them are electric, some of them are mechanical. A lot of them are mechanical with a little handle there that the driver opens and closes. Regardless, you want to make sure that it opens and closes and that it operates properly. That's important. Emergency equipment. So all school buses have to have this emergency equipment right here. So what is it? All right, so we have spare electrical fuses, which typically they put those in this box right here. Also in that box is your 3 red reflective triangles. That's your warning devices if you have a breakdown. You have an ABC fire extinguisher right here. You have an emergency first aid kit right here, and a bodily fluid cleanup kit. So every school bus has to have these 5 items in that school bus. Legally, that is what you need as far as your emergency equipment goes. When checking the handicap lift, make sure it isn't leaking, damaged, or missing parts, and make sure that lift is fully retracted and latched. So this is your handicap lift. This is, of course, it open and operating, but these are typically hydraulic lifts, and so you want to make sure there's no hydraulic fluid leaking. You want to make sure it works properly. I will tell you, a lot of school buses have these, and a lot of school buses don't. If you happen to operate a school bus with this and you pick up ADA individuals, well, you want to know how to operate that, what to check for, all that good stuff. Post-trip inspection. So after we're done with our trip, we've dropped off all of our kids. Now we have to do a post-trip vehicle inspection. All right. So post-trip bus inspection involves walking through the bus and around the bus. So there's specific things we're looking for as part of a post-trip inspection. This includes, we're going to check for damage or vandalism on the actual bus. We're going to check for personal belongings left on the bus, sleeping students that are still on the bus, and mechanical or operational problems. So as part of your post-trip inspection, we're going to walk through the bus. We're going to make sure no students are sleeping. I know it sounds crazy, but this has and does happen from time to time. We're going to make sure we dropped all the students off the bus. We're going to take a walk around the bus, and we're going to check our lights. We're going to check for tires, tire pressures, all that good stuff as a part of that post-trip vehicle inspection. So also part of that post-trip vehicle inspection, like I just said, is we're going to walk through the bus, and we're going to check what they call the No Child Left Behind button. So it's typically a button on the back side of the bus, and almost all buses are equipped with it now. So if your school bus is equipped with a No Child Left Behind button, it is located in the rear of the school bus. To disable the No Child Left Behind button or alarm, you must walk through the bus and check for sleeping students and push the button at the rear of the bus. Now, this is pretty standard now on all school buses. It wasn't 10, 15 years ago. It is today. And what it is to ensure that you walk all the way through the bus and make sure nobody and no child is sleeping or hiding or anything like that. And then you have to push that button, and that'll disable the alarm. If you don't push it, that alarm will keep going off. And that alarm's to tell you, hey, take a walk through the bus, make sure no one's on the bus, and it's for safety reasons. It's very good to have it. Most buses have it, and it's located right there on your typical school bus.